What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about part 2 of liquidation pallets. Do they actually make you money selling them on Poshmark and eBay? So stay tuned. Hey friends, thanks so much for joining today for part 2. If you did miss it, part 1, I will link it down below. You don't necessarily need part 1 to watch this, but I think it is helpful. I talk about one pallet that I purchased, and I'm going to be talking about some of the other pallets that I have purchased recently to resell on Poshmark and eBay. Up until the pandemic, I was mainly a thrift store bins type of seller, mainly thrift stores, honestly. And then the pandemic hit, my kids are home, thrift stores are shut down. I tried various different ways, and I have videos on some of that data as well. But today I'm going to be talking about sourcing pallets, liquidation pallets. So that is purchasing items in a large quantity, anywhere from 250 to 500 items is about what I've been purchasing. I purchase women's new with tag type items. So the first video I looked at the Free People new with tag palettes that I purchased. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about activewear type of palettes. I have purchased 3 activewear palettes for a total of roughly $4,000 I spent on them. However, I have made over $12,000 already on them. But that I want to break it down and really look at if this is worth it to me and how that compares to the Free People palette, but then also how it compares to thrift stores and the bins as things are opening up and things change. Should I continue with this liquidation palette route? So we're looking at an active palette analysis. Like I told you, I spent $4,000 and I've already made roughly $12,000 on it. So I'm definitely making money on it. This is the Free People analysis. Oh no, this is wrong. Okay, this is the activewear. So my sell-through rate, if you're new to the channel or you're new to reselling, sell-through rate is how much you've sold out of how much you have on hand. So we're going to scroll down. Also, if you're new to the channel, this is the Sarah Styles analytical. No, this is a Sarah Styles sales and trends dashboard. It is for purchase. That is linked down below. It's a one-time fee. It's in Google Sheets, and then you can run all of this data, look at your data, various different scenarios, as many platforms as you would like. So you can look at various different platforms, track and manage your data, and have access to all of these charts. But what I want to look at is, how is this activewear palette performing for me? We'll look at the brands that are in it and how those brands are performing, but it's activewear. It's a pandemic. So my thinking was, hey, it's a pandemic. People aren't really getting dressed up so much. January, when I was purchasing it, January was about to come. People start working out a little bit more. How's it going? So on average, I'm spending $6.04, my cost of goods on an item, and my profit for this is $25. Now, how does this compare? I always recommend comparing to yourself, and then you can compare to the market. So I'm going to show you in this video how to compare to yourself. Some of my other videos will break down how to compare to the market. I like to do it in eBay Terapeak data. If you have a store subscription, you can do it in there. It's really easy to look up specifics, Free People, Nike, all the way down to, a specific item and see how it's performing, to analyze after the fact, or even to look at when you are going to purchase it. Like I said, for the sake of this video, I want to look at how I'm performing overall compared to myself. How is this palette performing compared to other things that I sell? So my average sale price for last year was $33.77, and my sell-through rate was 56%. So 56% of what I purchased last year sold at a average price of $33. My average cost of goods was $6. So I want to note that the palette, purchasing new with tags liquidation, you're going to be paying a premium for it. So this is a little bit higher. My Free People, depending on what you're buying, the Free People palette in the video that I just did, part 1 was like $12. So depending on what you're getting, you're paying up. It is new with tags. I don't mind paying a little bit more because I'm paying for convenience. Right now, I cannot be outsourcing. I have 3 kids at home remote learning. I can log on to the computer, order a pallet. It comes to me. I can process it as I'm here with the kids. I have a hard time getting out to thrift these days. So my average profit, however, is $25. where before we were at $33 minus $5, so roughly $28. So I'm making a little bit less of a profit on this, but my time commitment and the convenience of it, to me, that's totally worth it. 59% of it has sold. I'm going to say, and we'll scroll up in a minute to look at brands. This surprised me. I think because I have so much of it, I think I have like roughly 700 activewear pallet items that I feel like it's just, I'm going to have it forever and it's not selling, which is why I'm doing this analysis. I'm sitting down thinking about how I want to source. Should I continue to do activewear? Should I continue to do free people, or maybe try some new things? How are these actually working? I was feeling like the activewear was not working for me. I have my numbers decide for me and tell me what to do. So based off of these, I'm actually okay. I'm feeling okay. I would like a higher profit, but I also don't mind a $25 profit. And 60% of it has already sold through for the year. We can come up here. I think this is interesting too, to look at the difference in eBay and Poshmark. I do a lot of videos comparing the two, so check out some of those playlists and my other videos. But eBay is selling higher for sure on, I mean, it's $3, but $3 times I have like 800 of these. That's a lot of money. So I'm working on a strategy there on, and you guys can watch some of my other videos. I'll link that down below. eBay strategy comparison. Okay, I'll link that down below for you too, but I do have quite a few on those, what I'm doing between the two, because I'm noticing that discrepancy. So let's look at the brands. What kind of brands am I selling in this activewear? Which one should I be looking out for? Keep in mind when you're looking at this, these numbers are gross. So this includes shipping, it includes fees, more so for eBay, but it includes the 20% for Poshmark, right? Poshmark, you don't pay for shipping. But so we're looking at gross. If you're new to this chart, you have your sell through, which is how many items you've sold out of how many items you have on hand. 100% means you've sold 100% of the items that you have purchased. The higher, the better. And then down here, you have your average sale price. So up in this right quadrant, that is your BOLO. For whatever you're looking at, this is what's working for you. You have a high sell through rate and a high average sale price. So let's see what those are for me. Marmot. I mean, if you're a reseller, tell me if that's a surprise, but 96% of the Marmot has sold for an average sale price of $57. Columbia. And this is interesting. I'm in Colorado. I see a lot of Columbia. I'm going to tell you 100% Columbia thrifted items, especially I only pick up thrifted Columbia. I only pick up jackets and boots. Their other stuff will sell, but it's not selling at the $60 average sale price. I'll tell you right now. However, in my normal, and let's see if Columbia hit it in one of my top brands, we can look at, oh yes, Columbia's up here. So normally this includes thrifted type stuff, and this is skewed. I'm not going to show you. That's $47, 87, 89% sell-through rate. Thrifted, I don't have specifically thrifted items, but it is going to be lower. And if you're just buying like their shorts or a Columbia shirt, it will sell. It does have a high sell-through rate, but it's not going to sell for that price. That's jackets, mainly jackets, maybe like their fleeces and stuff. So those are my BOLO brands for here. But let's look at some of the other stuff. I don't mind a lower average sale price if it's selling through. 82% of Nike, who's surprised there. Calvin Klein. This one really surprises me because when you purchase the pallet, I purchased manifested pallet, which means that I know everything that's in it. However, it's not like going to the thrift store where you're like, I want that nice item, I want that nice, and like only picking out the really good stuff. They throw in, Marmot that's selling for $60, but then they also throw it in with a lot of like Calvin Klein, or down here is Ideology. And I'm going to get to that one in a minute. But I'm thoroughly surprised that my sell-through rate on Calvin Klein is so high. I fully expect it to be a lower average sale price, but if 73% of it is selling through, I'm actually really okay with that. And that's very surprising to me. So I'm looking at this for the first time with you guys as well. I have 3 kids, so looking at it, planning, and then doing a video, I've kind of just cut all that out. So I'm looking at this with you guys to figure out what I want to do. Adidas, I'm also very surprised that 67% of the Adidas has been selling through. I have been feeling like this active pallet stuff is not selling. Honestly, I'm like, this isn't selling. I hadn't really been tracking my numbers for the palette specifically to know how it was performing, and you need time, right? So now I have 6 months of data to really see how it's looking, and I feel like it wasn't selling. I was almost going to not buy another activewear palette. Adidas is selling at a 67% sell-through rate. Calvin Klein. The other one, I want Under Armour. I feel like the Under Armour hasn't really been selling, but it is, 62%. Those are all above my normal average sell-through rate. So it is actually doing really well. Puma, I used to love Puma in high school. And so I'm really sad to think that Puma's not selling. I grew up thrifting. So buying anything brand new from the store was like amazing. And, I was always excited if I got to buy some brand new Puma. So that's just my little backstory on it. I wish it was selling more. So that's something to keep an eye out. Ideology. So Ideology is like an activewear brand. You'll see it like at TJ Maxx and Marshalls a lot. I think Macy's sells it, and maybe like Nordstrom. I don't know, some of those places sell it. So it is their MSRP is, pretty high. It's like more of a higher mall brand type of MSRP, like a pair of workout pants are probably like $50 to $60. So it makes sense that the average sale price is $20. The sell-through rate is much lower, $37. However, on this chart, my bubble's bigger, which means that I have a lot more items. And if it's something that's hard to move, it makes sense that I have a lower sell-through rate. It's not like a really sought after brand like Marmot, but I felt like it was going to be lower. I was thinking it was going to be closer to 10%. So I'm actually okay with that, but it is something I'm going to be mindful of when I look at the manifest, how much of the Ideology is selling. And I'll probably dig even deeper into this in another analysis. Maybe I'll show you guys if you want it, leave a note down below. What in Ideology, I feel like plus size sells really well on Ideology, but I'm going to actually break it down and look at it. So here's the thing. This is actually performing pretty well. Categories, my sell-through rate, definitely jackets, 84%. Keep in mind, I started this in September and it's now, February. Okay, right? Like that's jacket season. That totally makes sense. Tops, 49% in tops though is actually really good. Tops don't always move so quickly. And you can look over here at my average days on hand. So my average days on hand here, and this is probably why I feel like it's not selling as well. If you compare this to, this is part of my Free People analysis, the other video that I did, if you compare it to my average days on hand here, Free People sells in 24 days. On average. So it's not moving as quickly, but it's still performing pretty well. And so I do think that I am going to continue forward with this strategy. I'm going to note one other thing, and then I will make my recommendations and let you know what I'm doing. I always recommend looking at your numbers and your data, your sourcing strategies, your platforms, your time commitment. Everything is completely different. I show you guys these videos to help you figure out how to do them for yourself and give you a little bit of insight into what a reselling business looks like. But definitely always look at your data. If you like strategies based off of data, based off of numbers, all of my strategies and all of the business decisions that I make are based off of numbers and strategies. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and give me a like, saving and sharing it as well to help my small business and help me make more content like this. So I'd like to compare it just really quickly to, well, now I forget what I was going to compare it to. How it's performing overall. So something I want to know, I think I'm okay with it. And I like the fact that it comes to me. Like I said, right now, it's hard for me to get out and thrift, but how does it compare to thrifting? And I just want to note, the palette. And so keep in mind, this includes these activewear palettes that I've been purchasing as well as Free People, but it is performing worse than other places. Thrift stores have definitely performed better. Bins, my sell-through rate there, so 77% of the stuff that I've bought at the bins has sold last year. However, my average profit at the bins tends to be lower. I have a hard time saying no when it's so cheap at the bins. Do you guys do that too? And then I get home and I'm like, why did I buy all of this? I don't want to list any of this. So I have to really control myself at the bins. But garage sales, consignment, online, most of these other places, these different split outs of the thrift stores, I'm making a higher profit. I'm selling through them faster. So as I move into 2021, hopefully things go back to some kind of normal, right? It has to. And I can start thrifting a bit more, because I do think that thrifting is going to provide me a higher profit. I'm in Colorado, a suburb of Denver, and we have really good thrifting here, and I can pick out specific items, right? I don't have to buy this manifested palette and get stuck with some of the ideology, right? I would never pick up ideology at a thrift store. I can go in and specifically pick out what I want to make sure that I have a high sell through and a high average sale price. So what I'm doing moving forward, I'm still going to do the pallets. I like that it comes to me. I like that I can continue to consistently list and have inventory, but I'm going to supplement it with thrift stores. I haven't been to the bins since they shut down, because you have to like stand in a line, and but I will probably supplement with a thrift store as often as I can, and possibly look at maybe some more online arbitrage, like purchasing from Poshmark and reselling, because I can do that from home. So let me know what you guys are doing down below, where you're sourcing. Make sure to smash that thumbs. It always feels so weird when I say that, on your way out, and subscribe and hit those notifications so you get more content.